When Jesus comes back, what do you think he preaches? Does he preach worldly revolution so that the masters finally get it and the sad, miserable people get financial recompense? Is that the message of Christ at the end? No. Now, when Christ comes back to fix the world, what does he preach? What's his message? It's what his message has always been, but no one dared take it seriously. He doesn't promise to fix the world. He promises exit from it, fixing it through participation in something new. Exit. Exit from the world whose father has always been a liar and the father of all lies. The ego has created the world. The ego, which attempts to control time in a million ways, particularly through money. The ego, which has created a society based on elaborate insurance policies, which is what society is now. No. I preach exit. I preach what has always been preached, which is that a man who loves his life will lose it, and he who hates his life shall stay in it forever. I wasn't saying that the world can be fixed from within it only by jumping outside it to participate in a new story in which you do not try to control time and you think nothing of yourself. Think nothing of yourself. The self will destroy you because it's a neurotic fantasy. Exit and think nothing of yourself. Be as a servant. Love who's around you. Have gratitude for what happens to you. And then see what happens to the world. You have no control over anything except that. And identify yourself with being itself and with the Christ in you. That's how you come to know Jesus. And trying to control and sustain the world which from the beginning was founded by the father of all lies, really the human ego, it's not going to happen. There's no solution in the world for the world. There's no solution in the world for the world. It's not about nuclear energy or fusion, or there's no solution for the world in the world, because the solution is all here and in your heart. That the blossoming of love, which is miraculous, can happen. Jesus is a revolutionary, but not a revolutionary against a system, a revolutionary against your own neurotic head, which wants to control time. And Jesus wants you to know that you cannot control time, and any attempt to do so is an illusion, and it's holding back truth. Let it go and see what happens, and have no thought of yourself. And know that because God exists, even if you die, nothing bad can happen. Nothing bad can happen to you. You just don't believe it because you're afraid of death, you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that. Nothing bad can happen to you if you're in love. That is the truth of Jesus Christ. That is the revolution. And what is preached is exit and participation in love and immediacy. This is what it's about, guys. It's about recovering our natural state of how our minds want to be, which is like the Garden of Eden, which is like the archaic revival that Terence McKenna talked about. That's the world humanity's mind wants to be in, a world of nature cycles, ecstatic religious celebration, a world of magic and love. But better than that, because we have the complex understandings that civilization has given us, and now we can let all that, take it with us, and go back to the natural state of what man wants to be, and the whole thing will come to a head, and the truth will out. This is what Jesus preaches. What did you think he was going to say? What did you think? What really, in your heart of hearts, what did you think Jesus would come back and say? He's going to say exactly what he always said. Sell everything, humble yourself beyond your wildest fantasy of what that meant to you. Go to the lowest rung of the ladder and see what's there. And you will discover that you're fine as long as you have no anxiety over your own future. Because your own future is an abstraction that doesn't exist, that you're trying to control. It's not good for you. It's not what consciousness and the human spirit is about. But only radical engagement at all times in love will allow this situation to be palatable and powerful and revolutionary. Love will save the world if you just let it. But trying to control time, and trying to control your own future and your own sense of what's going to happen to you will hinder that. This is a revolution that will happen. Exit. Exit a civilization that is not savable, ever. Not salvageable. A civilization that is just trying to protect itself from itself. We saw what happened in 2008. That is a mere prelude to what happens when all the insurance policies get cashed, which is all our civilization now is. It's okay. This is supposed to be this way. This is how the system has been built from the beginning. And it's time to return to who we are meant to be. Creatures of love who live in the moment for Christ.